One of the most significant conversations we've had about AMC, the expanding squeeze narrative, the controversy surrounding synthetic shares, the enormous short exposure, and the reasons why more investors are beginning to think that AMC may be headed toward a scenario that the market will never be able to control will take place in today's video. We'll analyze the most recent AMC squeeze report, the allegations of more than $5 billion in synthetic value, the debate over AMC's possible exposure exceeding 7 times the official float, and the reasons why many retail investors think pressure is mounting behind the scenes more quickly than in the past. Now, the study we're discussing was produced utilizing Claude AI analysis, and although it's true that no report can accurately forecast the future, some of the analysis's findings are really intriguing because they align with what AMC investors have been debating for years. The 3 main pillars that could potentially establish the conditions for a squeeze event are essentially the subject of the report. It begins by discussing the fundamental technical setup, which includes very high days to cover metrics and significant short interest. Second, it draws attention to what refers to as a liquidity black hole brought about by long-term shareholder holdings and decreased market liquidity. Thirdly, it focuses on what many think could be the ideal storm catalyst: AMC's ongoing debt restructuring efforts, the movie industry's continuous rebound, and the rising box office results. It's crucial to remember that this is now more than simply buzz. The focus of the discussion has switched to market structure and fundamentals. For many years, detractors claimed that AMC was just a failing company with no way out. However, what we're witnessing now is a business that overcame one of the worst times imaginable during the pandemic, reorganized under tremendous pressure, increased operational effectiveness, and is now reaping the benefits of a thriving theater industry at precisely the same time that short interest talks are becoming more and more prevalent. The improvement has been enormous when you look at the real box office numbers. According to reports, the box office figures for 2026 are already up about 46% over May 2025. This is a significant increase given that the best movie release times typically occur in Q3 and Q4 of the year. Thus, even before the historically best seasons have begun, AMC is already making progress. Investors are starting to concentrate on the likelihood that upcoming quarterly reports could appear significantly stronger than what many Wall Street experts anticipated only a year ago when you combine it with AMC's most recent earnings performance. This is significant since, for years, AMC's entire pessimistic premise relied on the notion that theaters will never fully recover. However, the current situation totally contradicts that story. Blockbuster films are making a comeback. Younger audiences are returning to theaters in greater numbers. Theater attendance has been growing, and spending per customer has also grown. The final element is crucial since AMC is functioning differently now than it did in the past. Instead than depending solely on raw attendance, the organization has placed a strong emphasis on optimizing income per guest. This is why it's fascinating to compare it to earlier box office years like 2007, 2014, and 2019. Many investors are pointing out that because operational efficiency is much higher now, AMC may not even need to match those years' total ticket sales in order to potentially outperform financially. To put it another way, AMC might conceivably produce better financial results with marginally lower attendance figures just because the company has grown more streamlined and efficient. Simultaneously, there's been a gradual shift in the tone of media coverage of theaters. For a considerable amount of time, AMC's debt or bankruptcy concerns dominated mainstream financial articles. However, even financial magazines that were previously very critical are now compelled to admit that theater attendance is increasing and that businesses like AMC are directly profiting from this rebound. More people are beginning to realize that AMC continues to hold a significant portion of the theater market and is still one of the most well-known brands in the entertainment sector. At this point, the squeezing argument begins to relate to the basics, because the risk profile for bearish bets becomes considerably more hazardous if AMC is improving fundamentally while maintaining a high level of short exposure, elevated short interest, options activity, and what many consider to be hidden synthetic holdings that might not be completely represented in official reporting data are all extensively covered in the paper. This is where the dispute becomes really heated. For years, A number of individual investors have maintained that official short interest statistics does not provide a complete picture. They think this because the market's historical trends and trading volume don't seem to support the notion that significant short positions had previously been closed. Many in the AMC community believe that allegations that large short exposure vanished cannot be supported because there hasn't been enough natural purchasing pressure reflected in price action. According to the report, synthetic exposure is estimated to be worth $5.13 billion. When compared to the official float of about 551 million shares, some investors believe this could imply billions of synthetic shares based on calculations utilizing AMC's current share price. That is the origin of the 7x float debate. According to the notion, there can be synthetic exposure equal to over 7 times the shares that are formally accessible. It's crucial to realize that these numbers are hotly contested and have not been formally verified by authorities. However, proponents of the hypothesis contend that tokenized shares, dark pool activity, options market dynamics, derivatives exposure, and delivery failures all suggest a considerably larger concealed short position than what publicly available official data shows. The distinction between alternate data estimates and official short interest reporting is what makes this debate even more contentious. While official short interest percentages seem to be down, certain tracking models claim that overall synthetic or covert short exposure has increased over time. Many investors think the market is not presenting the whole picture because of this conflict. At this point, investors are posing a straightforward query, which makes the situation particularly intriguing. Where was the purchasing pressure if short sellers had really closed large positions over the past few years? When billions of dollars worth of bearish bets abruptly left the market, where was the spectacular upward rise that would typically occur? The absence of such price activity is precisely the reason why a lot of AMC holders still think the short thesis is viable. Concerns about broader market liquidity are also fueling these conversations. In the financial markets, discussions about reverse repo activity, liquidity injections, counterparty exposure, and systemic stress are becoming more prevalent. Some AMC investors think that exposure to meme stocks and the dangers associated with highly leveraged short positions are directly related to these liquidity problems. Growing institutional positioning around firms like AMC and GameStop is also mentioned in the study. Investors have observed big companies buying more shares of significantly shorted equities or expanding specific options positions in recent months. This is seen by many retail traders as proof that institutions are aware of potential for future volatility. Another important issue concerns UBS and Credit Suisse. Investors in joke stocks have long conjectured that toxic swaps and covert short positions were connected to UBS's acquisition of Credit Suisse. As many people are aware, recent regulatory developments pertaining to financial monitoring and enforcement proceedings have only increased conjecture about the true nature of these roles. In the meantime, interest in the Federal Reserve's liquidity operations persists. Many investors think that there is still concealed stress in the financial system because of reverse repo balances and growing counterparty participation. Critics contend that there wouldn't be such a high continuous requirement for liquidity support measures if markets were in perfect health. For this reason, a lot of AMC investors think that time is starting to play a major role. They contend that short sellers may eventually see increasing pressure from several sources at once if AMC keeps making fundamental improvements while retaining strong retail support and high holding rates. Stronger box office results, increased investor confidence, improved corporate performance, and liquidity stress could all come together to create the precise kind of atmosphere that leads to forced covering situations. The squeeze thesis has always had a straightforward central concept. Short positions may finally become